gestern hat es mir fast genug. Ich habe gedacht, nein, jetzt das macht mich Wahnsinn. Ich habe gedacht, es ist nur der Dänen, aber nein.
Ich glaube, da ist die Wertung kaputt gegangen.
Ich bin nass geworden.
やっぱり前来た時はさ、あまり盛況もしてなかった。あれ、あんまりひどかったよね。
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the city of Perth. We're delighted again to be able to bring you this Champions Curling Tour game. We're at semi-final stage. And today we have Silvana Tirinzoni from Switzerland playing against Ayumi Ogasawara from Sapporo in Japan. Two formed teams come through, meeting each other. They had really good games last night in the quarterfinals. Come through to meet each other this morning. We're proud to have brought this together with our title sponsor EDF Energy in conjunction with British Curling, Laguire Cheese, Perth and Kinross Council, Mercure Hotels, and our hosts Live Active Leisure, here held in Dewars Ice Rink in Perth, Scotland. Girls are just completing their warm-up and then we'll be straight on to it. With me today is Peter Loudon, co-commentator, and we'll bring you in the next 2 hours some of the finest curling you'll see on the World Tour.
Morning, Rob. Yeah, semi-final day. This is when it gets to the sharp end of the competition. This is why the teams have been working hard throughout the 3 previous days, down to the last 4 teams, and we've got some great teams, top quality teams with us, fighting it out to become champions, the inaugural champions of the City of Perth Ladies International, and along with that goes some pretty decent prize money as well. So winners this weekend will receive £4,000. And it's great that we've got teams from 4 different countries playing in the semi-final. As you said, we've got Switzerland versus Japan coming through in 2 slightly different ways yesterday in the quarter-finals. Japanese really dominant, eased to a comfortable victory in their quarter-final, whereas Silvana Tirinzoni from Switzerland went to an extra end and she managed to steal against the top-class Canadian outfit of Val Sweeting. In the other games we have Team Drendel from Germany and Eve Muirhead from Scotland. So getting us underway, Team Japan.
Yeah, Anna Omima, she's had a great tournament. Really setting the ends up well for Japan, and they've been pretty dominant. They've only lost the 1 game, and that was a narrow defeat to Eve Muirhead. And they came through a stuffy section and won all their games on the way here, and won with some ease last night. So they'll be looking to carry the form on.
And a good start there, centre guard, interesting to note. Swiss team going straight for the corner guard, so with this great ice conditions, a lot of curl, it'll be interesting to see how aggressive both teams are in the first round. And by that indication it looks like the Swiss team are looking to go pretty aggressive, Rob.
Oh, I think they've got confidence in their ice. They've not lost a game, Tirinzoni, and when we asked them earlier how they were finding the conditions, they were really enjoying it. Their description was it's really, really good. So they're at home here, so they'll definitely go for it. There's no point holding anything back at this stage of the competition. They're here to win. Sienna again here, come down, try and get round the centre guard.
In terms of the ice conditions, generally over the week, for draw shots to the centre line, the button, the teams have been taking the edge of the white circle, or the 8-foot circle as it's sometimes referred to. It's a little bit heavy from Anna with her first one there, just sliding to the back of the rings, in fact, sliding out the house altogether. So yeah, curling from about 4 feet of curl to get to the centre line. I think it's fair to say as well, Rob, though, when they move up through the weights, that's draw weight, move up to hits, tends to run a little bit straighter on the hits, not much movement on the stones, especially out towards the wider reaches of the circles. Marlene Albrecht now, left-handed player lead for Team Tirinzoni, looking to get an early advantage with a draw around the centre guard.
It's no coincidence we've seen these 2 teams coming through the group stages and qualifying for the semis. they're two of the top form teams on the World Tour this year. Although neither of them played at the Worlds in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, just a fortnight ago, they're certainly up near the top of the tour rankings. They've won an awful lot of the slams throughout Europe and throughout Canada. So they're the form teams we've seen, and the form keeps continuing. Certainly they'll be looking to get more ranking points here today and carrying to the Champions Cup at the end of this season, the European finale and the Players Grand Slam in Canada. They'll both be looking to play in that.
So Onodera here looking to play the freeze. The indications from the sweepers were it was a little bit...
Still looks hot to me.
Yeah, it does. It's going to tap that.
Yep.
Still going to stay behind the guards, but roll into the open. Gives Silvana a chance to remove that red. Indication is to roll to the wing. Square up the yellow stones.
Yeah, that was just too heavy there. They had a good chance to get round on top of it, but it's popped it behind the corner guard and left the Swiss an open hit.
Esther Neunschwander throwing second stones for the Swiss outfit. And indication was a barrier, weight, take out. Good communication between the sweepers and the skip.
Yeah, nice control of the weights. Just
ran a little bit straight on it.
It did, didn't it? Gave it every chance. Yeah, I think she's got to just commit to the centre guard now. She knows that yellow is well buried. She'd like to have had a look at running back that corner onto it, but they'll commit to the centre and probably try and get a forced end at worst here.
Just a little bit less weight required than last time. Line seems pretty good. Sweeper's holding it straight just now. Also looking at maybe sweep it for the weight. Weight looks pretty good, although hands up maybe indicate again that it's got sufficient weight to get the way they're looking for.
Looks better this time, Pete.
Yeah, definitely. Coming in nicely. Yeah, good shot.
Yeah, we saw their countrywomen do very well in the Worlds, come away with a silver medal. Fantastic achievement. They were really were the favourites of everybody over there with their enthusiasm, and we've seen the same in the girls here. They're really enthusiastic, friendly, laughing off the ice and on the ice, and that infectious atmosphere spreads throughout the whole tournament, to be perfectly honest. They've been a great part of the tournament. They're very experienced. I mean, just because they didn't play Worlds this year, Ayumi herself has now played in 3 Olympics, and a lot of World Championships to boot. Great shot
there.
Yeah.
So there's an in-turn tap back round the centre guard. Although I think after connecting with that red stone, it's still mostly exposed there on the in-turn. For Team Japan, I think, to try and play a similar type of weight, remove the yellow and roll across in front of the other yellow at the back of the house. Sayaka, Yoshimura, throwing third stones for the Japanese team. And they're on it straight away, which indicates it's a little bit narrow for line. Trying to hold it straight. I think we'll find this one curling onto the centre guard. Plan B maybe to do something like that, called a long way.
Try and get it onto the corner, yeah.
Push it in for a second shot perhaps. Not quite. So yellow still Y2.
Yeah, disappointing. That swung a lot, especially after watching the, they could have gone to school on the first stone going down there, learned a bit from it, but maybe just turned it in a bit. Might have been lighter than she wanted it to be as well. It caught the swing early.
So advantage Tirinzoni at this point, and a crucial shot coming up here to try and develop a big score as she has the hammer at this end. So last stone.
She's talking about playing the split here, just to try and get both of them behind the corners, but I'm not sure she needs to do that.
In-turn draw called. I think Rob round the other corner got around the red corner guard.
I think I prefer that.
Behind a bit of cover.
I think also what it'll do is they'll try and keep it high of the one on the centre line so that there's no double to lie behind and kill both stones off. I think she's happy just to sacrifice the one in the middle, try and set up a big end by using the two corners and the wings.
Sweeper's very important with this stone. Get it positioned in exactly the right place. It's curling a little bit on her again. I think this might curl too much. Oh, great sweeping. See if they can get a little bite at the front of the house, which they do. And you never know, that might come into play towards the end of the end. Again, curled a long way there. We saw that yesterday in the quarterfinals. Stones were curling quite a lot, especially in the first end. And then we found the girls getting caught out a little bit with where to put the brush in subsequent ends. Maybe not curling quite as much as it was in the first end. So ice has been prepared as ever to a very high standard. Pretty close, looking for a little roll off this takeout. It ends up hitting it smack in the nose. Now, is it possible, as Silvana was indicating there, to remove the red stone and then move over and maybe nudge the other red further out? Double takeout. I think she maybe doesn't think so. I think the call is just a hit and flop behind that corner guard.
I think it's a bit flat, isn't it? I mean, it may well touch the red, but it's going to come off the back of the stone. I don't think she'll be too worried at the moment. If she can get another one round that corner, there's still lots of stones in this end to go. Girls just saying it's just a bit hotter than they thought.
Starting to curl now though.
Trying to drag it over. Yeah, just knows.
Chance of a double takeout maybe this time.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'd be looking at it.
I think the primary objective here though, Rob, is
just make sure.
Make sure you remove the yellow stone and hold your shooter.
And stay in play. It's important for the Japanese to stay in play here. They're pretty exposed if their counter rolls out here. Yeah, she's looking at it. I think it's definitely on to feather it on the way past and still keep your shooter in play on the right hand side behind the right hand corner guard. Ogasawara, vastly experienced. Should curl on this in turn.
I think they try to hold it to go the other way though.
Yeah.
Another just about nose hit. So exchanges of nose hits here at the first end between the teams.
After seeing the lead stones really go, I think they've been a little bit just scared of the swing and they're trying to hold it too long.
The benefit to the Japanese with that though, Rob, is the position of the stone. If it's removed, Tirinzoni will not be able to lie two shots. The red stone will be second shot after an indication, because I think she's looking to hit and roll over and maybe half check the red Japanese counter at the top of the forefoot.
Yeah, this stone here could really control the end. If she can get this in the right place, like you say, a half stone check to the inside. Very difficult for the Japanese to make a play of any type on it.
Curling a long way.
Yeah, they like it though.
Oh, great double takeout.
Great shot. Wasn't even sure that was on there, Peter.
Neither was I, and we indicated that we didn't think it had to be very thin in the top one, but in actual fact, a very well executed shot, and Swiss lie 3. So the only shot available here, as indicated by third player Ayumi, is to freeze the back stone to make it very difficult for the Swiss team to remove it.
Top shot there, Pete, just to be able to feather that stone. They caught an inch of it really, and on swingy ice, first end up, straight out the blocks. Ogasawara is on the ropes here.
Sweepers are on it straight away. That's curling, isn't it? It's curling a long way. I think this is going to overcurl, Rob.
Yeah.
In fact, might tap this other yellow one in.
I think that's what they're scared about.
And if that's the case, which it does, it's a draw. Open draw for 5 at the first end. And all because of that first stone
5 feet, but it doesn't move. Okay.
from Tirinzoni. As you say, an outstanding first stone. Really thin double, the angles weren't really that favourable. Swinging off the stone, out turn, great control. Tremendous execution of a first stone.
She probably had nothing to lose really by going for it, because even if she'd half stoned and gone over the top, just getting the red out of there, she was still controlling the game with the stones behind the corners. It shows just how important that corner guard was. From lead to skip here, they've played perfect end of curling, and it's really taken Ogasawara by with a bit of a fright here. They've caught a cold at the first end.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Girls,
it's
nog
an
niet zo
in-turn draw.
fest. Richtig auf. Okay.
It's a little bit heavy, Rob.
Does. Every chance you could work that.
And as she slips through the house,
4.
it's only 4. And it only may be one shot, but there's a big difference psychologically even for the Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Losing a 5 versus a 4. If you're going to lose one, it's the best place to do it's at the first end, so they'll be thinking even if they hit back with a 2 at the second end, they're only 2 shots down.
Yeah.
Not such a big mountain to climb.
No, we'll certainly see stones in play now, and get a 2 back, relatively straightforward in this on this swingy ice. So there's every chance the Japanese girls will still be up for this.
As you say, they're vastly experienced, this Japanese team, so they'll need to dig on all these resources, get themselves back in it. It's still 7 ends of curling to go. But a great start for Team Tirinzoni. They'll be certainly buoyed by that. Very confident going into the second end.
Yeah, the bulk of that end was really all about coming down on that in-turn side, and the Swiss stones seemed to be able to hold it up for the first half of travel. They seemed to be a more positive release, and it didn't take the curl till later on. The Japanese stones seemed to be swinging from their hands, so they just need to work on this positive release on the swingy ice. Tirinzoni going top 4 here.
Yeah, I think we'll see this play out in that way, Rob. Top 4. Corner guard from Japan with their first and possibly their second stone.
Yeah, well, we see Tirinzoni going in defence here, trying to play a force.
I don't think they required too much for this one. And again, it's going to overcurl a little bit, Rob, I think, for a corner guard. It's going to curl too much towards the sideboard.
Yeah, Yoshimura was calling 3 there, but it was more the line, Pete. Just as you say, is the line's too wide rather than if it had been a metre short at that, it wouldn't have been too bad. But Marlene just coming straight on top again. Basically saying the Japanese can put up another corner, but they're going to have to use up 2 stones to get rid of those 2 at some point.
Yeah, I think she's looking to move them about the yellow stones. Is she? Or she's just going for another corner guard?
I think corner guard, I think,
corner
yeah.
guard. Yeah. Still early in the morning for me, Rob. Still waking up here.
It was just where she positioned her brush, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. The corner guard's the right call.
Yeah.
Better line this time as well. Not so far out, so can be used as the end develops.
One thing is, there's no double on those guards, so we've seen early on these wide corners are still in play. She can still get a stone around that left-hand guard, and it would be fully buried. So
it's peeling time though for Team Switzerland for for now anyway.
Yeah, I think you'll find the Swiss are happy just to peel the single guards and try and get the Japanese to conjure something up. But they're lying in A1 position. They've got one top 8 and top 4, so they don't have to force the play. We take too many risks. She's coming in.
Trying to use that corner guard. Not a bad call.
Yeah, she's got to come round it now and get one round it. Swiss will peel it off and she'll maybe get a better one up after that.
It's either that or she's thinking she needs to score 2 this end. If she comes around fully hidden, the Swiss aren't able to remove it. You're right, she either might put another guard on or try and develop something.
That's another guard, yeah.
A better position than the initial one. But as we said, Swiss team are now in the mode of removing these.
That's a good tactic, putting it there. There's 2 things happening here. So not only is she working out, feeling out her line for the stone that she will eventually go for it, but also there's more risk of the yellow spinning in and maybe picking one of these out the top, and it's maybe saving the Japanese a stone for later on. I think if she throws on the other side of the sheet, it's not developing anything.
So change of tactic here from Ayumi. Now looking to manoeuvre some of the 2 yellow stones that are at the top of the house. Provide some backing for her. And take the focus away from the corners.
Yeah, she's going through the whole toolbox of ways to create a 2 here.
Indications are it's slightly heavy, so I think the sweepers are saying if we catch a little bit, the top yellow might roll behind her corner guard. It's got to curl a lot to do that though.
Just heavy enough. Yeah, that's not great. She hasn't even developed one back tee, so...
Yeah, I think it was the weight really that caught her out there. It's just maybe a little bit heavier than the skip had indicated. So, yep, we'll see this other red guard be removed.
Yeah, at least if she'd popped one back tee there, the guard will probably go here, which means she might have had an opportunity to freeze a back one somewhere. Now she's going to have to front stone freeze.
Another good removal of the guard from Team Tirinzoni. But yeah, that yellow one's sitting on the tee line, Rob, so a little freeze on that one. It's about the only chance they have of trying to develop a 2 here at the second end.
Yeah, just going to keep asking the question. Play a freeze on this. If it's slightly cornered, the Swiss will definitely have a blast at it. It might jam and roll in behind the only cover that we've got in the house there just now, so there's still options.
I think line though, this one's curling a long way again. It's not going to be the right line to freeze at. And I'm wondering whether this in-turn shot, we've seen the first end curl a long way.
Weight
Yoshimura as well with her weight. Getting a
shot.
lot of curl in these in-turn shots. You see the intended destination in that yellow stone behind Silvana's legs. It still had a long way to go to reach that.
I think it's just a different release these girls have got. The Swiss are a lot more positive. See the way she just square that off at the end, whereas the Japanese are folding them across themselves a wee bit at the moment. Same shot.
Yep. She's giving her a little bit more ice this time.
Yeah. Your Japanese is good there. She just said, I'll give you another 4 inches. You were just down the centre line when you first.
Did pick up a few when I was over in Japan, Rob, 1997.
Happy hunting ground.
It was, yeah, test event for the Nagano Olympics in 98. Julia Ewart gold medal, World Ladies Juniors, long time ago.
It was black and white back then.
I would say with that one there, Rob, that didn't curl enough, and I'm just wondering if even Stones, she's maybe got one that curls a little bit more than the other.
Oder wir können auf die andere Seite. Sie wird nachher den Doppel springen.
Either way,
Und dann können wir
not getting the desired result that they want,
zielen.
and again it's advantage Switzerland,
Die
so
gleiche Höhe wie
I
da.
think option here is to split, or to draw the other side to lie 3, or even guard that.
I think the weight of the Japanese stone had a lot to do with that, really, because she was trying to corner freeze it on the inside, and it's probably not a terrible line where she's ended up. It just it would have curled another foot if it'd been 8 feet lighter. So, yep, Tirinzoni's playing pressure-free curling here. Just anywhere down that line will do. Keep asking the questions. Ogasawara is really not getting any help at the moment.
Okay, 5 ist gut. Geht noch nicht. 5, 6. Okay. Nehmen wir alle noch ein bisschen raus.
So this should be just short of the T line. The girls were
Muss sicher
indicating.
im 8 Fuß.
I think they're taking it
Sort
back.
of- sort of
Yeah.
behind it, isn't it? Tell you what, if that's swept all the way, do we thought, is that third shot? No, I think that's
Hanging on
yeah,
just.
third, yeah, third shot. Although a little glimmer here
薄くだね。
for Ayumi.
こうなってもいい。
If she can remove the red that's lying first shot at the top of the forefoot with our shooter to roll over, either a double takeout or hitting line in front of that. Second yellow shot, there's a chance of her to score
結
more
構
than
薄
one
い
at
よね
this。
いや
end.
黄色なんだ。
Crucial shot, Rob, I think, at this end.
Yeah, really has to move the one in play. They're looking at other options, but I think she's just going hit and flop. I mean, you keep looking back over the shoulder at this one in the back right-hand corner. There is a triple there,
Yeah,
but
the angles are good for that.
the risk reward is massive. If they don't get that absolutely right, then their option of a 2 is gone.
早いので。
I think they've got to just try and do a hit and flop here and hope that
ちょっとロ
hope the
ー
Swiss make a mistake.
Not taking much ice, but as we said earlier on, sometimes on the heavier weight shots, run a little bit straighter. A little bit of a wobble out the hack there from Ayumi, but a good recovery.
I think she's going going for the treble the way she's thrown that. She's tried to give it the extra weight.
And ended up with a nice hit
Yeah.
after all these trials and tribulations.
お互い大丈夫。
Still smiling though.
Oh yeah, all day long.
いいね。
Jetzt tust du gut.
That's got to help team dynamics, that positive attitude. It's not helping the score at the moment.
No.
Nase. Mit so ist auch okay.
Fine auf die Nase.
So their local rink at Sapporo is where the Worlds were played last year. So they'll be practicing and playing on some pretty nice ice there as well. And they play a lot of the Canadian curling tour events as well. So they're used to these conditions.
Okay.
Warte, warte. Oh, ist noch frei. Linie ist gut.
Warte, Linie gut.
Linie.
Putzen.
Marlen.
Nein, nein, ist gut. Gut.
Nice control weight.
Yeah, nice control weight. This leaves a straightforward draw to the forefoot for 1 for Team Japan here at the second end.
Yeah, pretty clinical displays from Team Tirinzoni at the moment. Yeah, Val Sweeting was saying earlier on in the week she's the Canadian skip, and she was saying that for them to fly to Japan is about the same distance as it is to fly to Europe. So they've been playing more and more over there, and they say the standard of Japanese curling is really going up all the time, which was reflected, I guess, in the silver medal. That was no fluke. Their strength and depth in the Japanese at the moment. It's great to see for world curling too.
入ってていいよ。
Now we've seen this hand swing here, so they've really got to make sure the ice is right.
Her line was good though, Rob. I think
Yeah.
She looks like she's got plenty of room just now. It's just purely down to the weight. And I think they need to... This looks heavy to
We
me.
need to keep off it.
They do need to keep off that. Slow down a little bit now. Not slow down enough.
No.
and that could be 3.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It was because they did sweep that out of her hand. But a commanding lead for Team Tirinzoni here in the semi-final. Indeed it was 3, which we think it was. That'll be 7-0 after 2 ends.
Well, the good news is it is only after 2 ends. She's still got 6 ends to go.
I admire your positivity, Rob.
I should be down there in the team talk.
Yep. And you're right. You never know
Yep.
how it could go. I think what we need to see here, though, is stone placement to be in the right place for the Japanese girls, trying to get some going, and then combine that with maybe some mistakes from the Swiss team, which we've not seen up until this point. Is their only hope of getting back into this game at 7-0 down.
Yeah, there's a big change in the percentages. The Swiss are all high 80s, 88%, and the Japanese are in the mid 50s. So that the scoreline does. It's all about mistakes. And you've got the Swiss playing at extremely high caliber at the moment, and the Japanese just haven't found their weights yet.
No, I think the Swiss have certainly adapted far quicker to the ice speed and the swing for the first 2 ends, as we've seen with some of the key shots from Team Japan. There's some unforced errors in there early on in this game.
Yeah,
corner guard coming down again and swinging a long way, and need to sweep it for weight, I think.
Anna's had trouble in that stone. That's really curled a lot from her hand again. Just at point of release, just need to be positive with the throw. Yeah, Marlene's had a good game, but really it's easy to play with pressure off, and 7 shots on the scoreboard. Just throw it top 4 again, please, lead.
Yeah, feel relaxed about it. As you say, it is less pressure on her. That's pretty well in the groove, the girls, from early on here. Bringing that one down nicely to the top of the 8-foot circle. Ayumi asking for another corner guard on the same side, a little bit further towards the house, a little bit closer to the centre line. This one looks like it's curling a long way again. Weight's a little bit heavier than the last one. Better position.
Yeah, so a lot of the teams this week we would have seen splitting their corner guards. The Japanese seem to be going for the same side to make the double very difficult. And also, if they're going to take this on the in-turn strike, then there's a risk of jamming in the house. So
yeah, slightly different tactic, Rob, than we would see as from the majority of our teams. Another good removal of that guard, and the shooter running out as well. So perfectly executed there.
Yeah, just happy to take the single peel there. They know the long guard. They can probably come round at hack weight if they really needed to. So take the danger one off first. I quite like the call to come round the same guard. I mean, it's especially with that one not being strong. I would have persevered for another stone yet, but
yep, I think that's what she was calling.
Yeah. The yellow at the back still might be a friend to the Japanese, so if you put in a freeze round the front one, you have a few more options this end. They just need to get this guard a bit deeper, and if they can get it right round, there won't be a double peel on.
Sweepers on it straight away, trying to hold that line, ensure they get behind cover. Working as hard as they can.
Yeah, that's a good shot. This will see a piece. It's a kind of either or peel here, so she's trying to get the one that's just been played, but if it over curls and she gets the top one, she'll not be too disappointed.
Another option here.
See half.
She'll not be too disappointed if it hits it thin and removes the yellow at the front of the house. Reason for that being, with the yellow at the back of the house, it can be used, as you said, Rob, to lie against. Similar shot to her first one. Esther removing that again. Been excellent on the removal of the guards. Persevering with the same tactic here, I think, Rob, the out turn draw. Or guard again. Get another guard up.
Yeah, another guard, I think. The yellows are actually not sitting terribly for the Japanese. They could come round that one at some point in the end, but it's too early to go now because they'll definitely run it. So it's maybe a shot for the third, second stone. Persevere trying to get round this guard, see if they can engineer a mistake. I don't mind them coming right in here either, because another yellow stone in the rings will give them some more cover as well. It's funny, it just didn't curl as much coming down off that out turn hand. It's swinging a lot more in the in turn.
I think the danger here for the Swiss team is if they remove this and the Yellowstone rolls behind that front one at an angle.
Yeah.
It gives the Japanese a little bit of a chance to freeze one in the back, yellow, and it wouldn't be easy to do a straightforward removal from the Swiss team. So a nose hit here for the Swiss team is probably your best shot.
Yeah.
And that's a good result.
Yeah. It also takes the coming round that corner out of play now, so she has to go for the one in the back now.
Yeah. Play switching now to the back of the house, and as you can see, Team Japan looking to just play an out turn draw around that yellow at the top of the 8-foot circle and end up lying right in front of this yellow stone that's sitting at the back of the 4-foot circle.
Yeah, Ogasawara's just going to use these two yellows in the front as guards. It seems daft when they're all in play that we're calling them guards when they're in the scoring zone, but they really are the only protection they're going to get at this end. But this has to be frozen. This has to be absolutely welded.
The line and weight's looking pretty good at this point in time. It's going to curl a long way at the finish.
Yeah, sweeping it for the drag now. Just a bit. Oh, that's a pretty good effort.
Yeah, it's a really good shot.
Just a hair light, but it's a good
That'll
effort.
give them a lot of confidence, Rob. The straight run back, as it's called, on your own shot. Take out the yellow. Just a little bit high. And this is the object stone at the back. So a chance to develop something into 2 or more for the Japanese team here. Indication is an out-turn draw around that yellow. The other option would be, Rob, maybe to use the guard. There's a little bit of cover.
Yeah.
And try and get one in past the guard into the blue circle.
The one thing is, if we've only got 3 stones left for the Japanese to come. If they go in there, they're going to be lined 4th shot. It might be a long shot to then try and develop it.
Yeah.
One thing is, if you can get round this fairly deep, there shouldn't be a double on. So, and I'm not sure the Swiss will chase too big a shot. They'll try and pick the single shot. They won't mind losing a 2 just now. They'll be happy to keep a 5-stone lead and just keep going.
I think the call was to come on to the same shot as the first one. Although it's not curling as much as we would have wanted, they need to still bring it in to make sure that they've got a chance of possibly using it. Okay.
Well, it's in play there. Asking a question.
Yeah, so a choice here for Tirinzoni. She maybe tempted that double takeout, given the numbers on the scoreboard. They're very, very, very confident. Remove the red that's just been played and try and pick out that other red at the back. There's a bit of separation between the red and the yellow, as you can see. So, be quite unfortunate if she was to jam them both on. But yeah, I think that's the right call at this stage of the game.
She won't mind if she jams one and takes the yellow off the backing. She's happy to lose a 2 here. She doesn't want to lose a 3 though. Single pick will do.
Can't believe you'd ever be happy to lose a 2.
I'm not often 7 up.
Especially after 2 end. So big weight takeout here. Silvana Tirinzoni indicated, I think she was a little bit narrow of the brush. It's not going to be a double takeout, I wouldn't have thought. It's on the other side. Rolls in for second shot. Again, very difficult to know where to put this red stone.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's probably the best place.
Yeah.
If you can get them lined up in front of each other, even a bump freeze onto the back yellow. And then what they don't want to do here is set up a double takeout, so probably anywhere in line in front of that red shot is their best option.
It's really, really hard to come right round that because they've just got the straight run on it anyway.
Yeah.
So either in front or I don't see the point in trying to go round it.
No.
Coming to there. Still set a double up. The problem with going there is that you might still only be 4th shot.
Okay, well, let's see with this one. Taking about the same ice as she was giving for our third player to come down. Looking for a little bit less ice now, indicating.
Yeah, I think that just tells you that she's really going to be back the 1 foot, back the 4 foot weight. It'll be trying to pop it just a stone's width. Line looks okay at the moment.
Yeah.
Sweepers like the weight.
Just to curl a little bit though.
Yeah. Just maybe overswept it a wee bit early on there. Kept it out. Weight's good though.
That's his line, and a pretty good result there.
Yeah, good shot.
She wanted to line them up. She's got that result. It still depends now on the angle that Silvana's going to hit this red stone at. Chance to remove that red one. And then depending on how much or how little of the back red one she hits, determine where it goes. At the moment it's looking like it's going to jam on the yellow. We'll soon find out.
Yeah, she's got to get it very thin to try and lift the double on the back one here. She might be just as happy just picking the top one and saying
draw for 2.
Good luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this will be short of weight.
No, she has the ability to throw the big weight as we saw earlier on. Got a bit of curling to do here.
Yeah, certainly on the high side at the moment.
The pick's the shot, Rob, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what a lovely shot. Oh, a tremendous shot. As you say, she had to catch that back red extremely thin, which she did do. And again, Swiss team line 3 counters, leaving Team Japan with a draw for 1 here at third end.
Just everything goes for you when it goes for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the score was 7-all, that would have almost jammed for certain.
Great shot.
They've really missed nothing, and they've come out this morning and just focused on winning this game and just gone for it with the shots and missed nothing.
Yeah, and the important shots. I mean, that's two outstanding shots from Silvana. The first end, the double takeout, and then again going in the same direction. The third end, another tremendous double takeout. Ayumi Coming down here to draw for our 1. Get ourselves on the scoreboard. Try and get a little bit of cover up at the next end, so it's 1 to Team Japan.
Yeah, good shot. That'll settle the nerves a wee bit. Give them the chance to get 2 stones up before the free guard zone comes into play. So we'll just listen in and see what the tactics are for this end, Pete. Yeah, centre guards up and try and get some rocks in front.
Hope for a few misses from the Swiss team, get themselves right back in it.
Swiss looking very relaxed.
Quick score update from the other semi-final. Eve Muirhead after 2 ends is 3-2 ahead of Team Drendel. We're on skip stones in the third end, and we'll bring you a little bit of an update on the outcome of that in a few minutes.
Yeah, these 2 teams have go back a long way as well. They've a long history in the sport, and at a junior level they actually played each other in the Östersund final in 1999. So a real symmetry about the game this morning.
And am I right in saying that went the way of the Swiss? That was a World Junior final?
It did that way. It did that time. It'd be difficult to see Ogasawara coming back from this as well.
Yeah. So centre guard to get us started off. The line looks good. The advantage of the 1 and going first is these stones can't be removed. So after 4 stones of play, Team Japan will be hoping that there's a bit of cover up there that they can try and develop something to steal at this end. It's a long road back of stealing now. There's nothing else for it for them but to try and get force some mistakes out of the Swiss team and make every single shot themselves. Malin Albrecht now. Swing, playing the in-turn draw.
Yeah, it's certainly on the guard, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Might even tap it in. Yeah, we were saying earlier that just in the high side of that EDF energy sign is the perfect centre guard. It's close enough that it can be tapped up, but it's high enough that you can actually get round it on the swing of ice. Another centre guard, please. I think.
Yeah, I think in front of the yellow one as well. So
yeah.
Swiss team can't remove their own yellow. They're allowed to remove their own yellow stone. So if there's a red one in front of that,
yeah,
make it more difficult.
She's calling it in. I don't think she's read the tactic book that you wrote, but I think we might see the Swiss taking their own guard off here if she goes too deep. Certainly started it on the high side. It'll come a lot from there.
That line's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a great shot. The one thing is, though, that they're just too close. It makes an easy double peel for the next stone. So
it does, yeah.
Kind of not done one or the other there.
So looking to remove this red stone that's in the house. Hack weight.
All these Swiss girls throwing around 90% at the moment. It's easier to do that when there's no pressure and the scoreboard's in your favour.
Yeah, and a good shot there. So the news from sheet E is another count of 3 shots for Team Muirhead. Third end moves them into a 6-2 lead after 3 ends. Back on to the feature match. Kao Onodera, second player for Team Japan. Looking to use the guards that are in play at the moment. Play an out-turn draw. behind cover.
Yeah, just coming round the guards, trying to create another one. They're almost anticipating the Swiss will be clearing. So just trying to get some extra cover up.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Fine shot. Onodera, of course, played Sochi Olympics with Ogasawara as well, so they're obviously a good team, gone back a long way together. Just checking out the angles here. I think they'll be happy just for the top two to go. Trying to find a way that the shooter goes as well.
Yeah, I think they're deciding what side of the stone to hit it on.
Yeah.
Whether they've got enough of an angle to hit it on the left side as we look at it to remove both.
I think the left-hand side, the red stone, it might not leave play, but at least it will be out of danger onto a corner guard. I think if they go the other way, there's a chance that if they get it wrong, they'll roll two stones across to the right-hand side of the sheet. I think this is more sensible.
Yeah,
Good shot.
Good shot.
So the yellow is still in play there, but it's not really a danger to them.
Yeah. Another centre guard being called, the Japanese team.
Yeah, just got to persevere with this. Hope for a mistake, maybe a jam, nose hit, leave them some extra cover to come round. They'll keep ignoring the one in the house for the time being. It's a gamble, but they're 7-1 down. They've got to try and finesse something here.
It's coming down nicely.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yep, good result. Looking to remove both red stones with this shot.
Yeah, it is on.
Esther Neunschwander played a nice double peel with her first one. Looking to repeat that with her second stone here at the fourth end.
Oh.
Tremendous shot. Both reds removed. Two corner guards in play, one in the house. Everything's working out extremely well for this Swiss team. First few ends have been in top class form.
Knocks the stuffing out of you, doesn't it? Just end after end. They create half chances and the door just gets slammed every time. Clinical stuff from the Swiss. We talked earlier about the Japanese game being in strong hands at the moment, but I don't think the Swiss women's game's ever been better, ever been stronger than it is just now. They have won 4 world golds in 5 years and from 3 different teams, and Tirinzoni wasn't one of those, so that shows you the strength and depth that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob.
Major achievement just to come out of Switzerland as Swiss champions with a Swiss league like that. They lost the final this year, so to the eventual winners of the gold, so they're in good form.
Another double takeout and roll. Yeah, I think in boxing parlance it would have been stopped in points by now, Rob.
Yeah,
it's like that. The Japanese, who are fighters, they'll keep on going. Try and throw everything they have at this Swiss team.
I think that's all you can do. There's no point going round the corner. They'll follow you into line 2 with only 3 stones to come, so play the freeze. Yoshimura just trying to get the intern freeze here. It seems to have a lot to swing yet, but does come a lot at the end. Her weight's good this time. Drag it.
Yep.
They lost that.
Oh, they did, that sat down.
Because the line was good. If they could have kept on that.
Yep, line was good. So it gives Team Tirinzoni a chance here to score more than one at this end again. The call is a remove of that red and roll behind the yellow corner guard, as you can see in play on the right hand side of your screens.
Yeah, nice shot.
First objective was to get rid of it, which they have done.
They don't want to leave too much line around.
I think there's only one option, the same shot, freeze again.
Well, they know the line in now. The line was pretty good there.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to. I'm saying if you can tap it back the line there, it's means that they can freeze it with their next and be shot, whereas the front stone freeze it here, they're not actually the shot. At some point they've got to pop it back of the ring, so
Or remove it and try and go behind the corner guard, but then there's still a whole lot of circles towards the centre available. A little bit of debate here between the team. A couple of options.
yeah, Yoshimura's convinced that it needs to be popped back of the tee line.
Yeah.
Ogasawara's not convinced at the moment, but it's very difficult icing for these in between weights. That's where the teams have found a biggest struggle.
So back ring weight, try and pop it behind the tee line. Red stone to roll in behind the corner guard. It's the nomination.
I think this is a good call. It's setting up two different options. It's two different strategies that might unfold here. If they can get behind the corner, it'll probably force the Swiss to follow them in, and might create an option of tapping to lie 2 or playing the freeze on the centre one. Might still develop a steal of 2 if they get it wrong.
The line's pretty good here.
Yeah, I think this is close.
Just a little bit too square.
Yeah.
The weight was good as well, so
They had to just let that draw a bit more.
yep.
Catch it just quarter stone, it would have popped onto the middle of the sheet, and obviously the red would have gone right behind the corner. So executed well enough, they just miscalled it.
Nou, maar het heb ik zo allemaal gespeeld. Ja. Ja. So.
Swiss will be taking no chances again. They would rather hit and stick here, because if they roll out, then the Japanese are going to freeze the back one. So it's quite important for the Swiss here to make sure the counter stays in play.
So remove the red and roll away to the other side of the house.
Yeah, they don't want to sit on the centre line here. If they sit in the centre line, then the Japanese can come right round and freeze the back one, potentially still line the shot and forcing a more difficult shot for Silvana. She's made the difficult shots look easy though, so
She certainly has.
Geef helpen. Tip. Oh. Tip. Oh. And stop. Oh. Oh. Nice good. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, another good shot.
yeah.
Rolled enough to there.
Just a more controlled weight.
Yeah, take out called.
And try and roll the red across the top so that it sits with the yellow behind it.
Yeah.
Hoping that it might jam, but I don't think the Swiss are that naive. Calling double. So I think they're calling double here to hope that the Swiss might blank and they'll get another another end, or even play the force for one, so they've got the chance to maybe conjure up a large end to try and break into this huge deficit.
Didn't quite make the double takeout, so it leaves a in-turn takeout for Silvana Tirinzoni to score 2 here at the fourth end.
Yeah, we've just seen Japanese throw down here. They'll be comfortable with their ice. She'll probably be a shade more weight on it this time, just to make sure positivity doesn't make it swing too much.
No panic in the sweeping.
Yeah, we're trying to get it to drag a little bit so it misses the back one, but pretty much on the nose. Yeah.
Another very well executed shot, and at the conclusion of the fourth end, score is 9-1 for Team Tirinzoni.
Yeah, statistics tells the story. Again, the Japanese shooting around about 60%, and Swiss all in the high 80s.
20% difference anyway between them, which is clear in the score. And in a high scoring encounter in the other semi-final, Daniela Drendel with her final stone at the fourth end, with a draw for 3 shots to hit back with a 3 against Eve Muirhead to narrow the margin to 6-5.
Yeah, I think the Swiss will just keep persevering with the same tactic. They'll try and play the game in the house and expect the Japanese to conjure something up with some guards. Just a shade deep, but really nothing to worry about for the Swiss. That's a good stone there.
A better corner guard there than some of the previous ends. Stone positions more useful.
Yeah, like we say, the Swiss are taking no chances. They're quite happy to sacrifice their second stone. They certainly don't want too many in play. I actually wondered whether they might have picked that one off the back of the 1 foot, because that could still act as a saving stone for Japan at the moment. But they're happy. They're 9-1 up, 8 shots clear. They'll be looking just to force Japan to 1 or 2 here and just keep the hammer going down the 6th. Yeah, that's just light. She's folded across a wee bit. It's going to swing a lot. Should be level though.
Yeah, we need to work it hard, but yeah, it'll be pretty close to being level.
Yep, 2 good stones. Another foot would have been safer. I don't think there's a double on there. Just trying to work out which is the more dangerous stone. Given a choice, Esther's wanting her outturn. Given a choice, there is only the outturn.
Yeah, another good peel. And really the Japanese team are finding it so difficult to try and manufacture anything here, with the Swiss being on such great form. Any cover that's going up immediately being removed.
Yeah, it's got to the point in the game where the Japanese have to put stone placement to the nearest inch to try and conjure anything up, whereas the Tirinzoni team are just being able to play easy draws anywhere within 3 or 4 feet, and easy peels, half stone, quarter stone, so the precision doesn't matter as much to the team that's ahead.
A little bit more of separation between these reds this time and a bit of an angle. However, I think we'll just see an out-turn single peel.
That's close.
Very close.
Yeah.
She certainly had it in her mind that she was going to try and get both of them there, didn't she?
Yeah, sure. She's lifted that many doubles. She's disappointed with the single peel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Team Tirinzoni, they're the top 3 or 4 teams in Europe, top 10 in the world at the moment, and yet travelling all around the world, they're holding down full-time jobs. It's a difficult challenge, difficult juggling act, but they seem to be managing it and keeping their performance high.
And was it not only a few weeks back they were out in Korea, big bone spiel out there?
Yeah.
And did very well. I think lost the final to a Canadian team. Japanese now looking to freeze this yellow stone at the back of the house. And again, I think the weight's a little bit short. Comes up a few feet short of intended destination. And they really have struggled with this.
Yeah.
As the game has gone on.
Yeah, they've not managed to find the form of their previous 4 games. Manuela got away with one there.
Another good result though. She didn't seem too happy with it out of her hand, but
yeah, it's just overthrew it on that in-turn a bit, kept it straight, and she got saved. Youngest member of the team, student economics, carrying on the banking and accountancy of the team. They're all in that field.
Is that right?
Almost need to be accountant to keep track of this score at the moment.
It's the guard. Trying to cause a little bit of trouble there at the front of the house.
They've got that guard in the right place though. It's on the EDF sign. Tirinzoni not taking any chances.
So big weight takeout called for Team Tirinzoni. This time got a little bit more of that stone still in play, but still job done as far as they're concerned. Ayumi calling a freeze in the back yellow once again.
If they're going to do this freeze, they've got to be right on it. They've just come up short a couple of times, so
even just bumping it back a foot, Rob's a better option for them.
So Yoshimura play a good shot with the first stone at the 4th end, so
this one looks like it's
heavy and high.
Yeah. Not really anything going for them at all today.
No. No, they're getting more exasperated as the game goes on, I think. Just needs to concentrate, try and get a 2 back in this, and claw their way back slowly.
ライオンいい。ちょっとタスクいっちゃうし。普通なんだろうね。ここの問題。ね、
So just coming top 8 with this beat.
I think so, yeah. I think that was a call.
Split them around, split the house, but they'll certainly not want to drift back of tee. Just taking a check on the split times from the rest of their team, just making sure nothing's changed. I'm pretty sure it won't have.
Socks. Socks.
So sweepers working this one hard. Down towards the top of the
Schnaller, go,
8-foot circles, as you said, Rob.
Lauf noch weit. Go, ganz rein. Gut gewusst.
And again, a good result. Makes it difficult to freeze that back yellow in the in turn with the angle.
Yeah.
Going to have to be very, very tight to that yellow one as she passes the yellow at the top of the house.
Yeah, she'll be wishing she'd maybe bumped it a wee bit with one of her earlier stones now. I'm wondering whether even just a check at hack weight and try and roll behind one or other of the cover.
Yeah.
Even behind the yellow would be safer.
Yeah.
Playing the freeze a high percentage shot. Like you say, the way it's swinging there, it's got to shave that front one. I'm wondering whether Ogasawara might just change her mind when she sees it on the hack. It often gives you a different perspective. So crucial stone here for this end, because if she doesn't make this, she's going to be facing 4.
Yeah. Line looks pretty good though.
Yeah, I think that's going to miss the guard. It's just whether it might overcurl in the house and actually come.
I think it's weight though, Rob. I think we need to work this for weight, do we? Well, she's pretty good for weight. No,
Yeah, it's a great line. You're right though, it was just a shade high on terms of weight.
Yeah.
They had to be right back on it.
Yeah, line was spot on. If she had the right weight, that would have been an ideal result for her.
Just too easy for the Swiss though.
Yeah, just to pick this one out.
Yeah, Sylvana's a business development banker. Can't be easy taking time away for the amount of commitment they give to the sport.
Yeah, good throw there, good release.
Yeah, perfect.
Picks out the target stone quite easily.
So
It's
a no sit tap back. Yep.
Yep.
It's really all they can do. They've just got to try and hang in there and pick up their ones when they can, and just hope that they get a mistake later on in the game. Doesn't look like at the moment. Tirinzoni is just absolutely clinical.
Yeah, you're spot on, Rob. Clinical, I think, is the right word to use.
Don't want this to overcurl.
No, she's okay.
That's right. Yeah, they still seem positive.
They do.
Smiles all round still, so they're enjoying it out there.
Yeah. But after coming through at an extra end yesterday, and I guess a hard-fought victory for Team Tirinzoni, they're certainly finding things a little bit more straightforward for them. They have a 7-shot lead going into the 6th end, and they have Hammer. Very strong position to be in the semi-final in the City of Perth Ladies International, Endure Centre in Perth.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, this is the City of Perth International. It's brought to you by title sponsor EDF Energy in conjunction with British Curling and Le Guire Cheese from Switzerland, Perth Canals Council and Mercure Hotels. We're here with our host Live Active Leisure at Dewars Ice Rink, Perth, Scotland. And welcome to the 6th end. We're seeing the Japanese team up against it. They're 7 down at the moment, but they're still fighting and they're still smiling, playing the game in a great atmosphere. Coming down the centre guard here, Ano Hima hasn't done an awful lot wrong, maybe just left her guards a bit long. I think that's been the difference.
Yeah. And we've had 4 great days of curling, well, 3 great days up until now, Rob, of curling so far, as we say, semi-final and finals day. And I think the general consensus from all the teams is, as a first offering of this competition, it's been a tremendous success on a number of fronts. Every team that I've spoken to have said they've really enjoyed not just the ice conditions and the stones, which are of some of the world-class quality as we expect here in Perth, but also the camaraderie, the people, and the City of Perth itself. So big success on a number of fronts, and again great testament to everyone involved in organising this event. But everybody's here about the curling. There's been some great teams, a great mix of teams from all over the world, and we've seen some top class curling over the 3 days and this morning as we move into the sharp end of this weekend.
Yeah, there's no doubt the real success is the quality of the field. Watching these 7 out of the 8 quarterfinals came from the top 20 in the world, so it shows you the strength and depth that we've attracted. But just off the ice as well, the atmosphere in the rink here at Dewars and also at the hotel has been terrific. The girls have had a lot of fun on and off the ice, and they've embraced the tournament, so we'll see it for a few years to come, I'm sure. Good shot. She's got the classic long guard and short guard, so well hidden. See a tick shot.
Yeah, lined up nicely, so very difficult to remove both of these stones. So as you say, yeah, it's a tick shot that's called.
So although the Japanese are really up against it in terms of the scoreboard pressure, they've set up a nice end here. They've got a Swiss stone at the back of the 12 foot that they can work on. Certainly all the stones are in favour of Japan at the moment. Of course this can't be removed, but she's played a great shot.
Yeah, another nice shot there.
There's no surprise that she's popped that to be a corner guard and taken her own one out of the way. Japan just have to persevere, put another centre guard up, hope for a mistake. Might be next week before we see a mistake from the Swiss team though.
At this rate anyway, yeah. Another centre guard called then, Rob.
Yeah, pretty good. They're getting control of their weights now. It may be too late, but they've thrown up the last couple of ends. They've got their stones in the right place. Silvana just asking Esther for the peel this time again. She really has missed nothing on these guards all day. Kaho Onodera again throwing centre guard. They've still got their sights on the Olympics. They although their opposition for that slot came away with the silver medal, if they're able to win the national championships in January, there will be a playoff to determine which team goes. So they're still got very heady ambitions. And again, the ranking points they'll get for here in Perth this weekend, they'll keep them in the top 20, which should give them a slot in the Players' Championships in Canada at the end of the season.
So again, there was a straightforward removal of that centre guard. Looking to replace that here at the 6th end.
Yeah, another good shot from Yoshimura. Yeah, Yoshimura, she was keen to come here. She played here in the World Juniors when the World Juniors were hosted in Perth when Eve Muirhead won in 2011. So she's fond memories of Perth City.
Looking to remove both of them there and just about making that. No surprise, however, removal of one guard's priority.
3 zones to come, time to come in.
Yeah, time to either freeze the back one. Probably not a bad shot. And get some red stones in the circles.
Yeah, I just like freezing the back one. The front end are calling, well, it's okay if we split the front one, but I think they've got to just come into the back. They don't have the hammer, and they really need some cover. Looks good this time.
Yeah, sweepers were on it pretty early.
It's just whether it's got the legs to get to the back.
Because our line's pretty good.
They maybe bailed out in it early and decided, look, leave that as a long guard.
That's exactly what they've done, Rob.
Yeah. Curled
Not
early
too
too.
much though. That's probably going to leave an angle to remove both.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you try, nothing comes off.
Yeah, they've not had the best of days when
No.
they ice these Japanese girls this morning. But they've come up against a Swiss team at the very top of their game.
Yep. 9-9. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Never in doubt, was it?
No.
Yeah, these teams are very good at just being able to peak at the right time, and as the competition grows, they get stronger, the percentages go up, you see them developing the stones, the strategies, and they've certainly done it, and they came across Val Sweeting, a very accomplished Canadian team last night, and squeezed them out in the extra end. And sometimes these gritty performances gives you more strength to carry on, whereas Ogasawara maybe had a comfortable win in the quarters, and they've not been complacent, but certainly the foot's been off the gas this morning. No hiding place.
Nope. A little bit better weight this time, is it? Just come to the front of the house.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to keep it in play and have it deep enough that if there's a nose hit here by the Swiss, at least they can come round it and use it as some cover. But there's no doubt in my mind Silvana's going to be running out with this, I'm sure.
Yes, all day long. Remove this red one. Not really be too fussed where our shooter goes as long as the red goes. It'd be nice to hang about on the side of the house. There's a high possibility of her scoring one or more at this end anyway to close out the game.
Yeah, big weight again from Silvana. She's not worried too much about keeping it in play. She just wants to make the red disappear. So where are you going to hide this red? The only chance is freezing the back one. The corners are all too wide. They've ticked them and manoeuvred them. So.
And again, it's going to be difficult. I'm surprised she's choosing this in-turn. I think the out-turn, there's far more room.
Yeah.
In-turn, the red corner guard could hamper you on the way down there. Got to be really, really close to it to end up in the destination that you're looking for in front of that yellow one at the back of the house.
Might just come down to preference. She's maybe more comfortable throwing the in-turn, so given a choice, everybody's got a favourite handle.
Yeah. It was indicating it's got plenty weight.
Yeah, I was just going to say, out the two handles in curling, the in-turn's my third favourite. Just like you say, she had to shave that guard.
Her weight's too much, I think, Rob.
Yeah.
But even by shaving that guard, look.
It's right on the nose, and
yeah, she would have been okay, right?
Yeah.
Just a fraction less weight. That line, but gives Silvana the opportunity. Let's remove this for one shot.
yeah, it's a chance for two, but really she'll not be too worried about the two. She'll just be making sure she can clear it. With that in mind, she's maybe just overthrown it a bit, but it'll be safe enough. She'll pick it.
She will, yeah. Pick it out for one. Yep, so one shot to Team Tirinzoni. The handshake offered and accepted. Final score 10-2 for Tirinzoni, and they advance to this afternoon's final.
Yeah, they'll
be very clinical performance, as you said, right through the team, from lead to skip, straight from the first end. They were at the top of their game and never really gave the team from Japan any sort of chance at all.
Yeah, they'll be very hard to beat. They played high 80s, 90% throughout that entire game. Never really missed a chance, and they got the game early on, leading, got the first step up there, and that meant they were playing the easy shots, and Ogasawara had to play difficult shots throughout the game, and it never really came off. So, yeah, 80% plays 60%. The 20% swinging percentages tells it all. Big shots that Silvana Tirinzoni played herself, and that seemed to be the difference.
So just running through a few of the highlights. And we see some of these excellent shots that the Swiss girls played today.
Yeah, they never really missed anything, and the Japanese were really fighting a battle the whole game from the minute they lost that big four at the first. The only error Silvana Tirinzoni made was it could have been a 5.
That's right, yeah. Because she set it up so well with a lovely, well executed double takeout at the first end.
Yeah. So the score in the other semi-final still very tight. Eve Muirhead from Scotland 7-5 up against Dani Drendel from Germany. Drendel with hammer, playing the sixth end, is sitting well, one round a corner guard and line one in the 4 foot. Eve Muirhead will do well to defend the 2 here, so we'll keep you updated on the score there, just to see who Silvana Tirinzoni makes.
Yeah, we're just moving over to this game, Rob, which is good. We'll just get the culmination of this game. You join us in the sixth end, third stones. As Rob said, Dani Drendel against Eve Muirhead. Currently 7-5 to Muirhead, but the German team with the hammer in the sixth end. Vicky Adams looking to play an intern hack weight shot on the red stone, sitting on the tee line at the side of the 8 foot.
Yeah, she must be able to see a bit on the high side there, Pete. I wasn't sure. I wondered whether they might have come round on the other handle, but
She's curling a lot with Rob.
I think she's got it.
Got a great shot.
Oh, that's a cracker.
Yeah, lovely shot.
Draw back tee though, Pete. Daniela Drendel's got the chance. Might tap this back to lie 2. Just leave it sitting behind the guard. The guard's quite long there though, and the hack weight there'll be a come around both handles. You saw how much Vicky's stone swung there coming off that in-turn side.
Yeah. Third player, Alina Jench, out-turn tap back. That double takeout looking for, and got to the nose of that shot that Vicky had just played. So yeah, still moving the stones round to her liking. Leaves Eve facing 2 red counters as she comes to play her first stone here at the sixth end.
Yeah, she's really going to try and tap this back. She will see a piece of it on the out-turn coming down the centre line. If she initially thought about freezing in the back of the 2 to try and force a 1, but the risk with that is if she doesn't quite make it or it gets a rub, she could lose a 3.
Yeah, she'll just look to remove this red and roll over in front of the red and yellow stone at the back of the 4 foot.
Yeah. She's looking for force 1 here so that she's got the hammer again with 1 up. Great coverage again. Great camera work here to be able to see the heads, see where the angles are.
This one's going to have to curl a little bit. I should try to get a thin double there.
Thin double, I think she's... No, great attempt, but it just rolled too far. Caught in 2 minds maybe. Oh, got a nice wee turn at the end.
Although the good thing for Eve was she also removed that other red at the back of the house, which may have come into play towards the end of this end. Leaves Team Drendel the decision. I mean, the way the stones are angled, the 2 yellows, I think it'd be useful for her to come down and maybe bump one of them, sit in front of both of them. She could then lie possibly 2 shots with some real backing and make it very difficult for Eve to remove 1 if not 2 of her own red stones.
Yeah, I think she's going to try and pop that yellow a little bit because it is lying the shot.
I think you mentioned yesterday Daniela Drendel and her team came here straight from the World Ladies Championships in Swift Current, Canada. So they've had a bit of a long slog away from home, and they've done extremely well. They've played some top teams, but they've played very well this weekend, and it's great to see them here in the semi-finals. A young team who are obviously looking to progress in this the game of curling, and they're putting some really, really good performances, as I said, over the weekend.
Yeah, they'll be very pleased with a fortnight's work. They were disappointed not to make the final playoffs in a really, really strong field at the Ladies' Worlds. They weren't far off the money. They took all the top teams to the last end, and it's no surprise that we've seen them in the latter stages of this tournament. I think we're going to see a lot more of them. They're an up-and-coming team, And they come from a hotbed of curling and Fusen in Germany, and there's been a lot of champions come out of that ice rink. So, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of this team again.
And they came through a tough section here. Rob, Alison Flaxey from Canada, and the former world champion Alina Patz in her team. Tough section for them to come out. I believe it was a playoff that they came through.
And the two Scottish teams as well, Lauren Gray and Kerry Barr, both very experienced playing here in Perth. So there was no easy games at all, and they've come through that section. So she's going to try and play this at strike weight, I think. So trying to take both yellow counters out and probably just roll slightly to the side to take the double off the reds.
Yeah, after much debate, this is the stone that they decided on, the shot that they decided on, sorry. Trying to get a nose hit. And making it
pretty good shot.
Pretty well. Gives Eve an outside chance of a very thin double, which is what she's looking at. Don't know if there's much of a hole between these two reds. She'll just be looking to catch. Well, she's looking at the outside angle of it now.
Yeah, she's just seen Daniela's strike come down there. It didn't move an awful lot, so she'll have confidence that just on the high side and pick the back one on the way past. The risk going on the other hand is that you're going to catch it and spin completely. I think this is a good call. Quite close. Yeah, I think they're happy with it.
Yeah, lovely shot from Eve Muirhead there. Removes both reds and leaves herself with lying one yellow stone, which Daniela Drendel will look to remove and blank this end.
Yeah, different lineup in the German team. PLE Scholl takes the head and acts as vice skip. It's not a bad strategy. I've always said the lead watches the stones a lot from her own stones. Learns the same track that the skip's going to be playing with the 4-foot draw, and it does give her a bit of a breather before she has to throw her first two stones as well. She's not the one that's bullying the last stone into the house.
Yeah. So a blank end there leaves the score 2-shot advantage to Team Muirhead, 7-5 as we move towards the latter stages of this second semi-final. Team Tirinzoni awaiting the winner of this game in the final, which will take place this afternoon at 1 p.m.
Yeah, Drendel won't be too disappointed with the blank there. She's kept control in 7th end. She'll have the option here of playing a tight end and blanking again, or trying to get a 2 or a 3, going down in the last, still in it. Eve Muirhead's lead. Mary Milne just in for this one tournament through the injury to Anna Sloan. Vastly experienced. Plays a lot of curling here in Perth, so this won't be a new arena tour.
Looking to place this stone top of the 4-foot circles. It looks pretty good. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, they really want this in the house, and Mary's done that, top of the 8-foot, so Eve will be happy enough.
Yeah, talking to Eve this morning before she came on for the semi-final, they felt despite the victory yesterday in the quarter-finals, there was definitely room for improvement in their game, both by way of execution and also some of the stone placement and ice reading. So always looking to improve the margins, Eve, with herself and her own game and her team's game, and that was their approach going into this morning's semi-final. They got off to a flying start, 3 shots at the first end and at the third end to go into a 6-2 lead. However, been pegged back a little by the German team.
Yeah, the change in dynamics of Eve's teams obviously had a factor in that as well, Pete. The Vicky Adams moving up to third and Sarah Reid playing second. They've been such a solid team for so long that as soon as the dynamics change, then they're in positions that they're not used to. So it's probably healthy, but it has taken a little bit of getting used to. Mary's coming as new member of the team, so she's played vice skip and taken the head. So they're all playing out their comfort zones, which is always good for team dynamics, but it's a new thing for them.
It is, but also I think Eve was saying that the ice is very, very quick this week. On their stopwatches is about 3.115 for the draw weight, which is exceptionally fast. Doesn't vary too much. Did slow a little bit yesterday halfway through the game, but generally speaking that speed holds up. So I think a number of factors in probably Eve feeling like they didn't have their greatest performance in the quarterfinals yesterday, but really looking to remedy that. And a good start there from Mari, guarding her own shot stone.
I think Tracy Fleury will be glad they didn't have their A game, because they fairly bossed the game towards the latter stages.
Yeah, there was a game of mistakes really yesterday, Rob. A lot of unforced errors as we observed. Although, as we've switched to this game, seems a little bit better standard than we saw last night. A lot of good shots being made. And again, that's a reasonably good result. Eve thinking that she's going to probably just remove this red one to lie 3 stones in the house.
Yeah, so she's playing the strategy that she wants all the stones in the house here, because she's going to try and force a 1 here from against Danny Drendel. The Drendel could really do with a 2 to go all square down the last. I don't think she wants to be sacrificing the hammer with only a score of 1. Eve will be delighted to have the hammer with a 1-shot lead. Yeah, disappointing, but not terminal for them. Kendall now thinking, well, how do I get a 2 out of this? So she's got 2 options. She's going to try and bring that corner guard into play. I think this is the right shot to get the hit and roll off the centre one, and at least the yellow that's at the top of the house could even act as a second guard.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go overly aggressive here and let it backfire on her. You're right, Rob. I think remove the short stone and try and roll either behind the yellow stone at the top of the house or behind her own corner guard. This one's curling on her though.
Curled too much for her, it's in her head, isn't it? Yeah, if she goes too aggressive and she's facing a draw against 3 at the last, like I say, she's 1 down playing the last, so she's got to still keep the blank up her sleeve. If this was the 8th end and she's 2 down with the hammer, she's no worse off. So a 2 or a 0 for Team Drendel, who are obviously Eve Muirhead's trying to force the 1 and upset the German strategy.
So they're looking to hang about with this takeout. Mary sweeping hard. Removes it, but loses the played stone. So again gives Daniela Drendel a chance either to come round that corner guard, which I think is what she's indicating just now, or try and remove the yellow and roll behind the corner guard. And I think she settled for the latter option.
Yeah, I think Sarah will be disappointed with that one. I think Eve really wanted her to hang around so that Team Drendel didn't have the option of this shot.
Second player Marika coming down with a nose hit.
The one thing for Eve Muirhead is that the guard is long, that if they do get round it, it should be relatively easy to come round there at a back ring hack weight and get to the nose of it. I think Eve's just saying there that even if we make this, she still might go round the corner guard, so we really need to hang around here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Nice controlled weight.
Yeah, nice shot.
I think he's had a good tournament.
I think he has, yeah, definitely.
But as we thought, she's just going to ignore it and try and get round the corner guard. Definitely going for the 2 now.
So the in-turn draw. Under a red guard. Trying to manufacture a 2 here at the 7th end to tie the game. He's going to come up a little bit short.
Yeah, just lighter weight. That was a great chance for Alanina Jensch to get in here.
She did though. Swept that really, really well. Didn't
Yeah,
look
they did.
like
They
it was
worked
gonna
it
be
hard.
Short of the house.
It's a dilemma for Eve. She's line 1, so she's just thinking if I can come round here and lie 2, she's going to negate the one that's in the front of the ring, and it might actually make it even harder for Daniela to use the corner guard. So this is a key stone at the end. He doesn't want to sacrifice an easy 2 here. Looks like it's light as well.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
This is a big call.
This is a big call. She had an option to remove the yellow shot to lie 2. However, looking to play another draw round the 2 half-check stones at the top of the house. She's thinking 3 possibly here.
Oh, definitely going for 3 now. So she's got a regular 2 if she can split the house or nose hit that one, or even get a hit and roll. But she's gone for a good opportunity here, and it's a great call.
And the line's pretty good.
I think they need to sweep to try and get a bit of curl on the end.
Eve working that one out.
Just hanging on for shot, I think.
I think so, Rob, yeah.
A bit deeper than the Germans really wanted. I think Eve's just got to keep going with that same tactic and follow that in. She can get it there. She takes both reds out of the count anyway, so
Yeah.
she's got 2 chances still to bail out of this, but her first stone's the more important one at this end.
Yeah. And there's a good bit of room there. That red one passed the 2 at the front by quite a bit, curled a lot towards the end.
Yeah.
So Eve will just look to outcount this red at the back of the house. Make sure she lies short.
Daniela certainly asking the questions of Team Muirhead. 2 down with 2 to play, and potentially getting the 2 back.
Line looks pretty good.
Yeah, the sweeper seem to like it.
Plenty of room actually. It's got a lot of curling to do.
Yeah, it's not short either.
Weight's
coming now.
Weight's crucial here though. Weight maybe coming off it slightly. Vicky going to have to work it hard. It's a slightly higher line. And the German shot moving down nicely now though.
Yeah, the weight's perfect.
Yeah, that's a good shot from Eve. Does she leave a little bit of a glimpse though to Daniela to try and get inside that? Push it back past the red one.
It's not easy, but even if she was to push it back into the back of the 8 foot, the 2 would still be on. I think if she does it back 12 weight, just enough to pop it, not even take it out the rings, just to pop it back to where the red is. It's very hard. I think go back to thinking about a 2 here, Daniela. If you go too big trying to get a 3 out of it, I think you might sacrifice the chance of the game. Yeah. Edge of the 1 foot was draw. Edge of the 1 foot on the other side, so take a foot less ice and give it 3 feet more running, and it'll maybe be enough just to pop it back.
Yeah.
I think they are trying to get to the nose of this.
And it's possible Eve passed that front yellow by a long way.
Yeah, they had to sweep it a lot at the end to get some more extra curl. So it's these wait for ice shots that have been the difference between the teams this week.
Certainly got a little bit more weight on this one anyway.
Yeah.
The line is crucial though. Need it to curl. Wants to sweep it to try and drag it over.
Yeah, Marika sweeping for the drag.
On the high side just now.
Yeah, they decided to try and feather it out the side door.
Yeah.
They're fortunate there that it's actually popped it out. So
it was a good call early on though, Rob. They knew they weren't going to make the shot, so I think they just settled for plan B. And it's lying third shot, I would say, probably.
Yeah.
Eve just looking to mirror her first stone, maybe slightly heavier, or even a little bit narrower to the guard to hide it more around that corner.
Yeah, as long as Eve's not setting up a double in the front one, I think she should be safe enough.
Again, her line similar to her first stone.
Yeah.
Sweepers are...
They're looking to drag it. It looks a bit heavier though, does it? No, our weight's good. Our weight's good.
Looks pretty good looking to drag it now. Line's a little bit wider than the first one actually.
It is. It stayed straighter down there.
Gets just to a corner of the red stone. Might not be sufficient enough. Daniela looking to play the draw shot here. Not quite sure who's lying second shot between red and yellow.
Yeah, I think it must be 2 yellows, or she would be trying to make a play on the back yellow, wouldn't she? So that draw good enough for Eve.
Which leaves a straightforward draw for 1.
Yeah.
Sweepers are on this for line more than anything else, I think, Rob.
Yeah, looks like it's curling big, and might just be the weight that's causing it.
The weight's coming off that big time. I think that's on the front stone. Going to be a steal for Team Muirhead, just a case of how many. 2, as Mary indicates. Third.
Just must have been a light throw. They weren't all over it from the hand, but it just seemed to curl more.
Yeah, it's
just a soft release, and it's thrown it over her body a little bit.
A steal of 2 for Eve Muirhead. Leads to handshakes. Final score here in the second semi-final is 9-5, which leaves us with a final matchup of Team Eve Muirhead against Team Silvana Tirinzoni this afternoon at 1 o'clock to battle it out to be the very first City of Perth Ladies International Champions. Sets us up nicely, Rob, for hopefully an exciting game this afternoon with probably the two formed teams into the final.
Oh, there's no doubt the best 2 teams have come through, and that's what normally happens when you've got good ice conditions. The best teams generally win, and Team Muirhead and Team Tirinzoni have definitely set the heather on fire this morning, and they've come through, and we'll see some fireworks this afternoon.
We certainly will. Thanks again for everyone for tuning in. So we'll just bid farewell here from George Centre in Perth, and hope as many of you as possible can join us again at 1 PM for this afternoon's final. Thanks again from myself, Peter Loudon, and Rob Niven. We'll see you all later on.